fall is really coming on now. I've seen a lot of leaves are falling. We're out on the lake. The mornings are very cool. Around here in Tennessee, you're talking mid-50s. Most mornings only in the low 80s. Maybe have a day or two that's higher than that, but fall is definitely on the way. The days are very, very shorter, and the fish are moving up quick. If you're not out there right now, you're really missing out. One thing about it right now, a lot of people are in the woods. Deer season has started. A lot of people that fish are taking advantage of the deer season. So folks like us that just pretty much fish all year long. I used to deer hunt, but I don't anymore much. Right now is prime time to be out there catching some fish, and the fish are moved up. They're chasing bait. They're deep. They're shallow. Just wherever you can find them, they're there now. They've definitely come out of their summer haunts, and they're headed back into coves, into creeks, chasing shad. And today we're going to talk about just three of my favorite lures that a lot of times people are not talking about, that are going to catch you some fish because the fish don't see them. Most everybody right now, and these are some really good lures to be throwing. Square bill crankbait, we've talked about that. You can't beat a square bill, but everybody's throwing them. So the fish are getting used to seeing those. Your swim baits, underspins, absolute bass catchers, but everybody's throwing them. And the bass will get used to seeing them. One thing you have to remember is, the bass learn really quick, and you have to stand out to catch them. Even though they're chasing bait, it's like they're at the buffet. They've got plenty to eat, so you got to stand out to catch them. And just three of my favorite lures to do so is a topwater, of course, in the mornings, or really anytime whenever you see fish blowing up on shad, bait fish, or whatever you've got in your lakes. That's a good time to throw a topwater. Now, you have to remember also to downsize, because a lot of times the shad and all they're not real big. They're, small, medium size. So you really need to kind of throw something that mimic what size they are. And you have to remember you got to stand out. So the three lures that I try to throw downsized are the downsized poppers, little small poppers, and I'll throw that on 8, maybe the most 10-pound test line. That's really good because that mimics your bait fish that they're chasing. It's got to stand out. It's either got to flash, or it's got to have some kind of movement to it, or something. Another thing is chrome and black. That stands out. It's not the great big ones, but it draws the bass to you. Another one is just a downsized swim bait. Of course, we're throwing those, but it's downsized. It has lots of flash to it. Another thing, you got to have something that stands out, because there's so many fish that they're chasing. And my number one that nobody throws anymore to amount to anything. There are a few people, but this is one of my favorite things. Last year I sat in one cove over here at a local lake, sat in this one cove all day long, just tons of bait fish in there, and caught probably 60, 75 fish just over and over and over, because this bait, they hadn't seen it. And it had something that stood out, and they wanted it. Inline spinner. This one here, you can see it. I throw that on light line. I have a lot of fun with it, most of the time on a spinning reel, spinning setup. But that right there is a fish catcher. in the fall because they haven't seen it. A lot of people don't throw it anymore. They used to throw it all the time, but that's one thing that they don't throw anymore, and that's what the fish will bite. They'll bite something that flashes or it's something that they've not seen. You hadn't got to worry about a lot of fishermen out there because a lot, people are doing other things. But if you get out there and it's calm and you're looking at bait fish and you're seeing them on your 2D or whatever electronics you're using, those baits right there stand out. They're different and they will catch you some fish. So just keep that in mind this fall. October's coming on quick. It's going to be a good month. That's the month that we really are able to catch some fish before they move back out for the winter. So just keep these in mind, and we'll catch you next time on the channel. I appreciate it, and y'all have a blessed day. Thanks a lot for viewing.